You're going to be pissed.
Look at his fucking smirk as he's lying.
Too bad, you dumb son of a bitch.
We need to listen. We need to listen to each other. We need to listen to dickhead.
I'm not playing around.
And fucked up by Eric July.
Where's your nutsack?
Chickens in the chat.
And start gossiping like women.
The indie comics community has been rocked by a years-long war between two groups of comic book nerds. On one side, the independent rebellion of ComicsGate, led by Ethan Van Sciver. On the other is Eric July's parallel economy comic publishing company, the Rippaverse. But why did the war start? Unfortunately, there's been a lot of misinformation or outright lies about how and why the falling out happened between Ethan Van Sciver and Eric July. Join me, Eric Hutfless, as we unravel the truth about how the war between ComicsGate and Rippaverse started. Before the war, Van Sciver and July were friends, or at least friendly associates. For a period, they frequently appeared together, both on panel shows and on each other's channels. They had known each other since at least as far back as 2019. Eric July super chatted Ethan on the ComicsGate Live show on February 10th, 2019. But first, who's YoungRippa?
Matt Becker says you need to have YoungRippa on ASAP. EVS, who's YoungRippa? Does anybody know?
Rapper, I guess.
Sounds like a rapper. Yeah. Anthony Scott says, F yeah, we got a super chat from Eric July. Where's Eric July? Did I miss that? Eric July actually wrote to me and said, I don't know if he wants people to know this yet. Never mind. We're going to be working together on something. So that was kind of neat. We're going to talk tomorrow. Yeah, do you know who Eric July is? Martina?
Eric July?
Mm-hmm.
No. Should I?
Libertarian. Yeah, he's I've seen him before. I looked at his Twitter. I kind of like what he does. And he's in a band, you know.
Oh.
I gotta check out his music and stuff. But STD Spider-Man says, I'm giving you the tip, Ethan, but just the tip. Eric is YoungRippa. Oh, Eric is YoungRippa. Okay, all right. Yeah, well, I think there's a good chance that he will be coming on then because he reached out to me tonight. And I said, yeah, give me a call tomorrow, and we're going to talk about a project.
They agreed on most every topic about the state of the culture, as can be seen in this clip from Eric July's For Canon's Sake show featuring Ethan on March 20th, 2020.
Well, Birds of Prey, for whatever reason, they marketed it to these blue-haired weirdos, right? You got Ewan McGregor, hey, we're tackling misogyny, right? We're tackling these it's not just the direct misogyny. We're attacking the everyday misogyny. I'm like, what a... me and the lady was two other people were the only people in the theaters on opening night of that movie, right? You scared, like the core demographic, you basically spit in their faces and said, go screw yourself. Mm-hmm. Go screw yourself. The guys that would have been most responsive to seeing chicks kick ass, right? They said, no, it's not for you. It's like, all right, well, I ain't gonna go watch it. And not only did they not watch it, the people that they tried to appeal to didn't go watch it. They
don't understand what women want.
Right.
What women want isn't that hard.
Yeah, it's not.
I'll answer it. Women want Aquaman.
Right.
They want that dude.
Right.
You want to get women to go to a superhero movie? You put that guy in the movie. Take his shirt off.
Yep.
And he's
there you go.
You got women going there.
Yep. Easy.
They don't want to see butch lesbians pissed off, like kicking each other in the face. They don't want it. I know you think that's what they want. We want to see empowered women. No, they don't. Nobody wants to see that. Some guys pretend they want to see that.
Right.
They don't want to see that. So the basic formula still works. You know, it's like powerful man, damsel in distress. And yeah, the damsel in distress can kick some ass. Princess Leia was great.
Yeah. Hell, what's her name? I mean, granted, she was, what she's doing off screen is something else, but Mira in Aquaman, same thing. She was a kick. I did a full video. It's like, this is one of the best handled kick-ass like character. She was very strong in this movie, but they did it in a way that it made sense, and we loved it. We loved it. Nobody was like, oh, well, look at the... She was
feminine and beautiful. Yep. I mean, she's desirable. Yep. Who's desirable in Birds of Prey, and by who? I mean, I look at that stuff and I'm just like, I don't know who this is for. This is awful. This feels bad to look at. Yep. I don't like these people. I don't want them to win. I hope they all die. And that's before I even go into the movie, I hope they all die is what's going on in my head in the end. I was like that with Rise of Skywalker too, though.
Yeah.
I hope they all die.
When Eric July started setting up his comic company, the Rippaverse, he came to Ethan for help. Ethan gave him a constant stream of advice and knowledge on everything from printers to which artists to hire. During the launch of both ISOM issues 1 and 2, Ethan hosted big promotional live streams on his channel.
I passed out on the couch after an enormous 11-hour live stream effort last night. Oh my gosh. Absolutely insane. We're watching history happen, watching it unfold in front of our eyes. And the entire purpose of last night's live stream was to be here when Rippaverse passes $1 million. Let me refresh it here. We might be there already. Let me just check. Okay, good. We didn't miss it. Congratulations. We did it. We are at 1 million. Everybody, we managed to push this campaign to like the first step of our final goal, which is...
You can share my screen. I've got it.
World domination. Okay, here we go. This will... Oh, Andy's here. Hello, Andy. Welcome.
Well, hello, everyone. $1 million!
Ethan cut a promo for the Rippaverse at the end of his video about Sam Wilson becoming Captain America in the MCU.
It never occurs to these people to just get black creators and let them create. You know, they've always got to just sort of F with stuff that already exists and do gender swaps and race swaps and then call everybody bigots when they complain. And everybody complains. It seems like if you're Caucasian or black or whatever, people don't like to have their superheroes altered and changed. They just don't like it. Rather than do that, why not get bright creators who are black or are something other than white Caucasian? Try this. Let them create their own superheroes and see what happens. That's what's happening here with Eric July and the Rippaverse. And he is launching tomorrow. His character, ISOM, I think, is the first book. Let me see what to expect tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow they're going to go on sale, the books. Yeah, there we go. Let black creators create.
Ethan even drew the cover art for ISOM issue 2. So why has Ethan spent years making hundreds of videos tearing down the Rippaverse? Criticism. Or rather, how Eric July reacts to criticism. As soon as it was announced, the Rippaverse faced extreme criticism, but it was mostly from leftists. The early Rippaverse marketed itself as an alternative to the woke mainstream comics, so SJWs attacked it. But the SJW criticisms were perfidious. They said silly things like, the Rippaverse is a scam, July is going to run with the money and never make the books. This fatuous disparagement taught Mr. July a dangerous lesson. He could ignore criticism. His belief would cause a chain of events that would bring Ethan in direct confrontation with Mr. July, and that chain starts with the man named Vito Gesualdi. Vito is a comedian and erstwhile comic creator working on his own creator-owned comic, Super Killer. Vito is also the co-host of a podcast called The Biggest Problem in the Universe, with author Dick Masterson. On the show, they lightheartedly debate various problems, with Vito coming from a more leftist perspective and Dick being more right-leaning. For several weeks, Vito doubted the quality and verisimilitude of the Rippaverse on Twitter. Then, on August 15th, 2022, the Rippaverse was brought up on The Biggest Problem.
For like the last 2 weeks, all Vito has done is had a meltdown that this black guy is funding his comic.
Now wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me understand this. Eric July is his name?
Yes.
He crowdfunded over $1 million for his...
$2 million now.
$2 million?
Wow.
Initially, Dick defended the Rippaverse.
That comic is going to be such trash, and once it comes out...
No, my friend is doing the art on that.
Yeah, your friend's art is fine. He's illustrating the vanity project of a zero IQ knucklehead.
How do you know that, though?
Because he looks like shit. shit. It's
Why?
gonna suck.
Vito.
I don't get why I can call out bad projects like Star Wars looking like shit. If I see
Star
a movie
Wars
trailer looks like shit, and his comic
it has
looks
an
like shit.
Infinite budget. His comic doesn't even exist, and he made it out of nothing. He made $2 million a piece.
He spent
out of nothing.
$200,000 to put one comic together.
He's got a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a huge amount.
That changed when Vito appeared on July's show Monetize Your Haters on August 25th. July muted Vito every time Vito mentioned his own comic.
If there's something that you want to do or you think that that this is a way that it should be done, I encourage you to go ahead and do that. But like,
well, I'm glad you bring that up because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm currently working on a comic book called you can view at Super. Book with a great story. Quagmire that has been driven into the ground, and people are being worked up into a frothing mess over it. We're now cheering that movies and cartoons are getting canceled because they might have been woke. I saw yesterday Heel vs. Babyface is excited that a follow-up to Batman the Animated Series got canceled because it's woke. Frankly, this kind of rhetoric seems to be about canceling creators rather than lifting them up. We're going to cancel all the movies and TV shows because they might be woke.
On the next episode of Biggest Problem, later that night, Vito's appearance on Monetize Your Haters was brought up.
Well, this is going to be an exciting show. We might be joined from some people from Eric July's Rippaverse.
You mean bots that he paid to give good reviews to his comic?
Well, I'm not accusing him of that.
Oh, man, look at you. You have the smirk of a man who's total devastation, I heard. I was driving home for the show, and I got a text that just said total devastation.
Wait, who said that?
A guy I know. He said total devastation. Vito totally destroyed Eric Rippa.
Well, I
and
did.
His Scamiverse. That's what he called it, a Scamiverse.
Oh, my God.
I can't believe you called into his show.
Oh, yeah, we had like a 30-minute, I think it was a productive 30-minute conversation. And then the second I leave, he goes, that fat loser is jealous of my success. And I'm like, why didn't you bring that up on the show?
Who else called in?
I don't know. That was just him after I left.
Oh, he's talking about you?
He starts talking shit. And I'm like, bro, we could have done that on the show. I would have went back at you.
Tell him to call in right now.
He should call in. Well, so if Eric July is currently streaming, so let him know that if he wants to call into Biggest Problem, we will get him on here.
Okay. Should we do the theme song now?
I can't believe he waited until I was off to start
you a fat
calling
loser?
me a piece of shit. I'm like, if you wanted to go at it, I was being very accommodating. Yeah, go. Let's do it.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
I don't know how to express that.
Well, you got to listen to it. You might listen to it and go, I don't know if I did a good
I don't need to listen to it. I mean, you talk to him.
I think
pretty ballsy. Most people just like sit and see.
Oh, just sit. No, I'll talk to anybody. It's funny.
Masterson was now on board with criticizing and mocking the Rippaverse. Dunking on Eric July became a regular feature of Biggest Problem. So, what does this have to do with Ethan's War on July? Ethan was a fan of the show.
Jimmy Max says, Ethan, do you kiss your dick poster every night before bed? Hey, I like the Dick show. I do like Dick Masterson. I like his Biggest Problem in the Universe show a lot. I think they're really good broadcasters. And that's just reality. And you know what? I just don't care. You know, it's like there are all these lines of loyalty and people that you have to hate and people that you have to like to get along on YouTube. I don't give a shit, dude. I got work to do over there. I draw and I watch YouTube channels. And the stuff that I like, maybe you don't like, and maybe some people who are allied with me would be sad if they knew I listened to it. But fuck it, man. I'm 49 years old. I didn't get to be 49 to be told what to do by fucking YouTubers. I'll be honest with you. Just didn't. I'll do whatever I want to do. So, yeah, I like the Dick Masterson show. I'm sorry that he doesn't like Eric July. I like Eric July. I like ISOM. I think it's pretty good. And that's the way it goes.
Ethan has said that while he is drawing, he listens to Biggest Problem and Masterson's other podcast, The Dick Show. Ethan even appeared on The Dick Show in 2018.
Presenting Dick.
Hey, Ethan, are you there, buddy?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? Thanks for calling in. For the people who don't know, I do a terrible job of explaining what people do. but you are pretty much the figurehead or the person in the main target of what's called ComicsGate. Is that right?
That's where I find myself. Yeah. What do you guys think of that?
Oh, well, I wrote a book called Men Are Better Than Women 10 years ago, so I think you could probably guess where I fall on the... Ethan, help me out. It's a reaction, it's a backlash to certain elements trying to force diversity into comics for the sake of diversity, like trying to force social issues into comics that just were never there and they don't fucking belong there.
That's very annoying.
Ethan, do you think that's an accurate explanation?
Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, just in general, it's an uprising against just leftism taking over comic books in general, and everything that comes with leftism, which is one of the most annoying aspects of it is this snarky kind of extremely rude attitude that they take towards the fan base. Any complaints are met with just accusations of bigot, racist, Nazi.
So, as time goes on, Dick and Vito ask why no one is criticizing ISOM. July punches back, going on profanity-laced tirades and calling them names. And Ethan is seeing all of this at the time that he's trying to advise and promote July's comic books. Ethan straddles this line between July and Masterson for months. Until June 3rd, 2023. This was the infamous episode of FlashCast where Dick Masterson confronted Eric July live on camera.
Hello!
But people forget or don't know that Ethan and July had already sparred about criticism on that same stream before Masterson arrived. The panel had already been discussing Masterson's review of ISOM, with Ethan saying that criticism can make you better.
I thought the book was fine. I was fine with it. I liked it.
Everything's fine, but it could be better. See, this is the whole
But he
thing.
knows that. He knows
I understand.
that.
So, listen, Literature Devil did a review of Wreck Planet that was, like, when I first watched it, I was like, because he had a better idea for the ending. He said, this is where you went wrong. This is what probably would have made Cyberfrog's initial sentiments at the beginning more profound. And he was 100% right.
After Eric July joins FlashCast, he gives his idea of the mindset of his critics.
Is that people are nipping at the ankles, trying to hope that they can, whether it be with their dead channels, whether it be with trying to, this is how they generate somebody talking about them. And when you enter into any sort of definitely form of art where that is your sort of mindset, then you're often going to make a lot of like these critical errors where you end up just, saying dumb shit and making enemies out of people that shouldn't even be sort of your enemy.
Ethan and July spar over Dick's review of ISOM.
I heard you talking, Ethan, about this whole like this guy and his review or criticism was excellent. That's bullshit. We read through it ourselves. It's not excellent. It was literal lies.
This is the whole thing, the good faith versus bad faith thing. I talked about this on my Twitter. It goes both ways. It doesn't matter if someone's approaching you because they like you or they hate you. What really matters.
I disagree with that. 100%.
I do. I know I'm Eric. If somebody is approaching you because they really, really like you, they might be afraid not to give you actual pointed, valuable criticism.
Agree with that, but
because they don't want to fight with you.
Ethan even gives an example of when he took criticism from one of his longtime haters.
The bad faith argument goes in both ways, and I understand because I'm where you are and I have people nipping at my heels all day long. And even still, I'll examine somebody like Vickyverse, who made a video criticizing Cyberfrog Wreck Planet, the first 20 pages. And you know what? She had 3 good points. And I'm glad I listened to it because I fixed it for clarity. I went, fuck it. I hate this girl. She hates me. But she's right.
And now, the crux of the argument. Should creators consider the opinions of unfriendly critics?
We can't win the culture war without great stories, and we need to listen. We need to listen to each other. We
shouldn't listen to dickheads. No, we shouldn't listen to dickheads. Like people that act like hoes.
FlashCast got derailed into a different subject before any agreement could be made. But Ethan and Eric continued to be friendly, and July even joined Ethan the next day when Ethan was reviewing the FlashCast stream on his own channel.
All right, here's our friend. We don't have an intro for him, but welcome, Eric July. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right, man. What's up?
Oh, my God. My wife this morning, Eric, she tuned in the middle of the night, and she goes, why were you adversarial against Eric July? I was like, baby, I wasn't. She's like, that's what it looked like. You can't do that. And I said, well, I think you needed to watch this show. I'm not adversarial against Eric July at all, but conscious of imagery there. So if that's how it seemed, again, we got to get that straight. I'm in no way adversarial, and I don't want to seem like I'm up against you or being confrontational with you one single bit.
But soon the relationship would catastrophically implode, and it would start with the infamous Nightletter, a text message from July that Ethan interpreted as a threat. A Nightletter is a message meant to intimidate and silence the receiver, which is what Ethan thought July was doing. Ethan didn't disclose the text at first. I'll explain why the text was sent, why Ethan initially kept it secret, and why he revealed it to the world a few months after receiving it. What brought on the Nightletter text? The surviving fragments of this Twitter thread shows Ethan clarifying that July was participating in the fight with Masterson by calling him Buster Baxton. July disparagingly compared Masterson's appearance to the White Rabbit character from the cartoon Arthur.
Who you think I'm gonna listen to? Some Buster Baxter looking ass nigga, or I'm gonna listen to Chuck Dixon? Seriously, I'm asking that genuinely.
So, the Twitter thread was posted at 3 p.m. on August 10th, 2023. At 3:11 p.m., Ethan received the Nightletter text message. July tells Ethan to stop giving credence to Dick Masterson's narrative, and if Ethan doesn't, July promises to start reciprocating. The two men then have a phone call to hash it over. Ethan describes the call a couple of months later, after he had made the text public.
He goes, if you want to chat about it, you're free to call. So we did. We got on the phone. To me, I received this as, stop criticizing me in public, or I'm going to... basically, I'm going to unleash influencers who want to go at you. I'm going to tell them they can go ahead and go at you. It was a threat. It was just a threat. It was a nicely, carefully worded threat. So I sat on this. I called him. I talked to him. I said, this is a threat, Eric. You're threatening me. He goes, threaten. I go, you know where I'm from? I'm not stupid. This is a threat. You're basically telling me that if I don't shut my mouth, you're going to allow your friends who are in high places, who are influencers on YouTube, to attack me. That's what you're saying here. And he was like, I said, Eric, I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you about all this stuff. We got to be able to talk about this stuff, you and I. You know, I mean, I give you advice, and you just, you know, basically don't listen. It's a mistake not to listen. I'm giving you decent advice. It's leading you down a path where it's making your life more and more difficult. And, you know, he said, you know what, Ethan? He said, you think you're more important to indie comics than you actually are. And then he choked on the last word and kind of pulled it back. So I was like, there's a whole fucking shitload of resentment underneath the surface of this that I've just kind of tapped into. Eric seems like a nervous wreck. So I talked to him and I said, I understand why me disagreeing with you publicly might cause you stress. And I will try not to do that, but don't threaten me like this ever again. And he smiled and went, okay, we're cool. So I sat with this since August 11th until now. And I thought about what a coward I am for not immediately exposing this, for not immediately sharing this. I should have done it right away. And not because I'm mad at Eric or anything like this, but this isn't cool. Like, is he doing this to other people? Because everybody seems to be afraid to, like, read the comic and criticize it or offer genuine criticism. Everybody seems afraid. That's not what ComicsGate is.
Everybody seems to be afraid. There's been a lot of questioning about why Ethan revealed the text message and why it was months later. To understand that, I think we need to rewind to September 29th, 2023, a couple of weeks before Ethan disclosed the DM. On this day, Mr. July forced his way onto the live stream of Nick Rekieta. Nick Rekieta is a lawyer who has a podcast where he discusses legal cases, and often those that affect entertainment. Nick is an acquaintance of Ethan, and has covered ComicsGate legal issues before, such as Richard "Ya Boy Zach" Myers' suit against Mark Waid. Anyway, Nick was covering the legalities of one of Masterson's associates, Riley, going in person to the Rippaverse warehouse. July was in the chat and came on the show. The conversation turned to July's belief that Nick was supporting Masterson's narrative. By the way, July keeps calling Masterson Nick's partner for some reason.
Your partner started the issue, right? That's and it's all on him. This isn't an Eric versus him thing. This is a thing that he is perpetually online. Maybe he doesn't have it all upstairs. This is maybe his shtick. But if you want the shit to end, and you want that because you find this whole thing gay, and you're genuine about that, right?
100%. I hate
that's a conversation that you got to have with him. It's not the other way around.
I'm not his dad, man. What do you want me to do?
All right. If you actually wanted the shit to end, and you didn't, this is not something that you would have preferred to happen. You would have took that up with the actual initiating party, and that's not what it is to do it. No,
I didn't do that.
No. Not to my knowledge, you didn't do it. You did, however, bring it up like, hey, I don't want you to be. I wish that this wouldn't happen, and this is all gay and all that. To my knowledge, you haven't done any of that. But on a serious note, on a more serious note,
would you have knowledge if I did?
Absolutely.
Do you know what I've said to Dick about this?
No, not. I only know what you say in public. Have you? I ask you flat out. Have you?
Maybe.
All right. Is that a yes or a no, though, Nick?
I don't know. Is it a yes or no? You're saying what I haven't had.
Hold on.
You're the one who said what I did.
You can't sit up here and keep asking me these questions.
First of all, you're asking me to be his
have you addressed it personally about it? Have you? Yes or no? Yes or no?
I've talked to Dick 100 times about this. Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. That's all. Okay. Cool. And so, how did that conversation go?
Exactly as you would expect a conversation with Dick Masterson about what they should do.
I don't know how that is.
You haven't figured that out by now? Like if you tell Dick to do something that he's not going to do it, right?
What did you tell him to do?
Hey, Dick, this shit's gay. I wish you would stop.
You told him to stop?
What am I going to do? Like demand? I'm not his dad.
I'm asking you had a conversation with. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Well, to be clear, we may differ on what we think he's in error on, but I have said I wish this shit was over. It's annoying. It fucks up my show, and I hate you for it, you bastard.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Well, again, didn't hear that publicly, which so that's good.
Why
news.
would you?
Dude,
I don't air that shit out in public. Like, why would I do that?
If I thought a friend was in error, I would say, hey, man, I don't think that's what it is you should do.
Quick aside, July wanted Nick to publicly call out Dick and said he would tell a friend if he was in error. But he flipped out when Ethan publicly told him he was in error about criticism. Just saying.
Have you pressed your partner on these things and had a conversation like this publicly with him? As far as all the claims it is that he's made and all the things it is that he said, have you asked him about any of that stuff and really got to the nitty gritty on that?
No, he didn't ask me.
Okay, so you've never done that. All right, so go ahead and ask me what questions you have pertaining to the charity.
To be fair, I hadn't done it with you until you came into my chat on my show after calling me out in fucking public, lying about what I've said.
What did I lie about? Wait.
Buddy. You don't want to get into this right now.
What did I lie about?
You've said this entire time that I've been dishonest and non-objective.
I said that you weren't
not as objective as I thought.
That's what I said, and never once did I say it was because of you saying those.
I will humbly suggest you do not know the definition of the word objective. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not accusing you. You did enter the fray with Dick, right?
I guess
by back and forth with him by responding, by
responding to a review,
okay,
what?
So am I never allowed to suggest?
Stop, don't try to set it as if this is I am demanding or demanding that Nick Rekieta do X. That's not what it is that I'm saying.
You claimed I wasn't objective. I'm trying to find out how I would have been objective.
All right. So how you would have been objective is you would have went, instead of trying to play that card, I believe, and I could be wrong, maybe that's a cultural thing. You would have went directly to the person that was the initiating party that kept this bullshit going on and would have addressed it with them if you really did not want this gay shit to actually be a thing. Because I believed you. Because
I didn't do it in public, though.
Yeah, because now news to me. You said that you talked to him. You talked to him privately. That was news to me. I never knew that.
I know you didn't know that. I didn't tell you.
Okay, so I'll accept that that's what it is that you did, and now I have new information.
So am I objective now?
Yeah, you're more objective than I gave you credit for. Then
am I objective or am I more objective?
More objective than you gave yourself. That I gave you credit for. Let's be more.
But I'm not at objective yet.
No, I don't believe that you're.
Why was Nick pushing so hard about objectiveness? Because Mr. July was saying stuff like this in the days beforehand.
You know, he went around pretending to be impartial about some shit, and we always knew Nick Rekieta was not impartial. And we don't have the same laws, particularly surrounding private businesses and fucking other places. Like the fact that this sits up here and tried to play this whole impartial shit for as long as he did was so extremely disingenuous. We know where you at, and I wish you were just honest. And other than to be a weird person to try to fuck with someone's business, and then he brags about it, and Nick Rekieta plays the whole ignorant thing. Oh, I don't know what's going. I haven't seen enough. Like, quit fronting, man. Just say that's my partner. I can't be impartial, and I'm gonna back him. I'd be perfectly good about that because that's what bros do. Bros back their bros. What I don't like is that he's like, I'm trying to play it right down the middle. No, you're not. Really disappointed in that man. Really fucking disappointed in him. Unfortunate. Like I say, it's no love lost there, but I am disappointed in him because, like I said, I've been kind of silent about this whole impartial shit that he's not been playing. That's fucking foul. That shit, and it's corny as fuck, too.
Now here is where it ties into Ethan's possible motivation for revealing the so-called Nightletter. The day after July crashed Rekieta's stream, Dick Masterson appeared on Rekieta's show. Nick says something that Ethan probably found very upsetting.
The greatest thing I can do is not talk at all. And I tried for months. One person kept bringing me up, and that was you. You didn't need to. You were behind the scenes. By the way, I've known for months, Eric. When I said the mask was slipping, it's because I already knew that I was on your detractor list like a DSP flailing in the wind. You got a detractor list, you beta bitch. Oh, these people don't like me enough. I hope Geeks and Gamers and Friday Night Tights will cover for you. And by the way, if they blacklist me forever, good. I don't fucking care. The crazy thing, Eric, is I know who else you blacklisted. I know who else didn't defend you hard enough. You think going against me is shitty? I'm not even in the goddamn community. I'm a lawyer who has talked to ComicsGate people. The shit you've said about other people, I hope it never comes out, brother.
I know who else you blacklist. I know who else didn't defend you hard enough. Ethan continued to defend the Rippaverse until just days before he revealed the so-called Nightletter text. But Ethan must have wondered if he had found himself on Mr. July's secret detractor list. And even after the reveal, Ethan tried to remain conciliatory.
Thank you. Like I was saying, those of you who are upset and all this stuff and think I'm a jerk and a dickhead and, oh, he's lying and all this stuff, fine. I understand. I apologize to you guys because you're the customers. So if I let you down, I'm really sorry. I am truly sorry to you guys, and I hope you will forgive me for that. But I can't explain it. It was like a stone in my shoe. Okay. And I had to talk about it, especially with the way things are going lately. So, have some sympathy at least and try to understand.
Keeping the text secret was like a stone in my shoe. Why did this bother Ethan so much? To understand this, we need to go back to the very beginning of Ethan's cancellation at DC Comics. Before ComicsGate was even an organized group, when President Trump first ran for office in 2015, comic professionals were wishing harm on the at the time presidential hopeful and telling his supporters that they were not welcome in the hobby. And Ethan was one of the few publicly conservative comic creators. Ethan was told that to keep his job with DC, he had to stop advocating for Trump and shut down his YouTube channel. In order to preserve his own free speech abilities, Ethan left DC and started working on his own book, Cyberfrog. In fact, in the very same stream that Mr. July first super chatted Ethan, the one we watched the clip of earlier, Ethan described how important his free expression was to him.
Was it worth it? Like, was what worth it? Being myself? Like, I am who I am, and so what do you mean, was it worth it? I guess it is. And like I said, Mark Wade's the one good thing that Mark Wade ever said to me, there is no price. You can't put a price on me speaking my mind. That is the most important thing to me. So yeah, it is worth it. Whatever happens to me.
The Nightletter text may have caused Ethan so much consternation, it may have sent him to the hospital. Now Ethan hasn't said that this text contributed to this, and Ethan was dealing with a lot at the time. But the timing is very circumspect. The Nightletter text was sent on August 10th, 2023. On August 13th, Ethan went to the emergency room with fears he was having a heart attack.
About 4 days ago, I started to have chest pains right here. When you pledge allegiance to the flag, you put your hand right here. And the reason why you do that is because this is where your heart is. And so I started to have pains. And then 2 days ago, I started to notice the numbness in my left arm. And I thought, oh no, not this. And I was worried about it, but I just thought, what the hell? Like, why would I be stricken with these things? And I told Andrea about it, and she got very concerned, and I was kind of like, I'm okay. Listen, I'm okay. And she was like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm okay. I'm fine. But then this morning, sitting around the swimming pool, it had like a particularly kind of rough night where I just woke up and she's like, how's your chest feeling? And I was like, it's not feeling better at all. And I was like, I think I'm going to go to the hospital. I think I'm going to go to the ER. Immediately, a nurse comes over and drags me over to triage and hooks me up to a machine. They were just like, yeah, you're fine. You're not having a heart attack. I started to cry. I actually started to cry, like weeping. I was so like relieved by that. They're like, no, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. But go sit over there. We're going to take you in the back and we're going to run a series of tests. So,
did the Nightletter make Ethan feel like he was right back in the situation he was at DC when he couldn't speak freely? Was it the final straw that pushed him into a stress-induced panic attack? I'm not qualified to answer that question, and I'm a little nervous even making the connection. But the timing is very interesting. And finally, we have to ask if Ethan's apprehension was justified. I'm sure Ethan totally overreacted, and Mr. July was completely professional, right? But before we get to that, allow me to introduce the Ripapotamus Keshi art toy, hand-sculpted by me, molded and cast in durable synthetic rubber, extremely limited collectible because I make them all myself. And an extra special bonus includes the first DocuMold trading card. Be great and order today! How did Eric July react to the so-called Nightletter being made public? Not well. July is a bit more reasonable in his tweeted response. He denies it was a threat and promises not to sling mud. But then his live show happened.
When I am direct with somebody, they trip out. Oh, he's threatening somebody. Oh, Nightletters. He's threatening because I'm direct with you. You're almost fit. No, these is 50 years old acting like women. And the first thing you do, oh, I got problems. Oh, I'm gonna send out a fucking tweet. I'm gonna let them know. Hey, let me get my gang of fucking gay ass Negroes. Let's fire up a stream and start talking about him. Oh, sure, I got his number. I got problems with him, but I'm not gonna call him. You're a fucking maggot if that's your approach. But you act like bitches.
Ethan's fears about unleashing influencers seemed to be spot on. Several big YouTubers that used to be friendly with ComicsGate suddenly weren't, and, unsurprisingly, most of July's fans started attacking Ethan and ComicsGate. But the biggest betrayal was a man who goes by YellowFlash. He was a longtime ComicsGater and a staunch supporter of Ethan. After the falling out, YellowFlash betrayed Ethan and ComicsGate, even going so far as to delete the ComicsGate Twitter community room. It was after YellowFlash's backstabbing that Ethan began the TrashCast show to strike back and give his side of events. And now you know how the war between ComicsGate and Rippaverse, Ethan Van Sciver and Eric July, started.